to experience something glorious. Unacademy Combat. Compete, crack, conquer.
A challenging GATE contest engineered to give you an experience like none other.
Where you put your knowledge to test
and battle it out with the best.
To bring out the best in you, Unacademy Combat is the most competitive, gamified contest for GATE till date, with the best of the questions by best educators.
with detailed video solutions from top educators right after each contest.
Combat live with peers to get real-time rankings and win big.
Participate in every contest to improve your ratings.
Challenging contests every fortnight or alternate Sunday. Live ranking after every question. Big rewards for top rankers. Your passion to crack GATE deserves this. Your hard work towards your dream deserves this. Fuel your inner fire for the ultimate GATE challenge. Unacademy Combat. Register now.
Good afternoon, my dear students. Good afternoon. Welcome to the most reputed platform, Unacademy. My dear students, for this noon session, very important, my dear students. Myself is Dr. B. Enroll, having purely 17 years of the pure academic experience, my dear students. Okay, out of this particular experience from the last 10 years, my dear students, I was supposed to be teaching the various subjects in the departments of electronics and communication and instrumentation engineering for the competitive level examinations like GATE and engineering services. Nearly I dealt 200 plus batches across all the locations of the country at the competitive level examinations like GATE and engineering services. The subjects like communications, core instrumentation, electronic device and VLSI design, my dear students. Okay, and moreover I dealt 15 plus subjects at the parallel academic engineering college also, my dear students, at the okay, my academic experience is concerned, my dear students. Okay, and recently last year I have received the PhD in the department of ECE under low power VLSI design from one of the reputed University of Andhra Pradesh, my dear students. Okay, very important things, just I would like to bring it to your notice over here. Not only, my dear students, I am teaching these subjects, I have mentored nearly 10,000 plus students covering all the locations of the country, okay, in the form of webinars and seminars, how to crack the government job, whether it is a central government job or state government job, or cracking the seats, MTech seats in NITs and IITs, my dear students. Okay, these are all the important things, just I would like to bring it to your notice. Now, my dear friends, you can use my code and get the 10% subscription, my dear students, on the Unacademy subscription, my dear students. Okay, very important things just I would like to bring it to your notice over here. Similarly, when comes into the, my dear students, Unacademy subscriptions, two important subscriptions are there at per the Unacademy is concerned. One is Iconic and second one is the Plus subscription, my dear students. Okay, as far as if I am going for the Iconic subscription, these two subscriptions are for the GATE and engineering services, my dear students. If you are going to take it the Iconic subscription, a personal coach is dedicated for each and every student. Okay, a personal coach is dedicated, my dear students, to each and every student, and he will explain the subject in a detailed manner regarding his or her subject with a detailed study planner starting from the basics, followed by concepts, followed by derivations and the basic numericals, level 1, level 2 and level 3 numericals in the previous year questions also, my dear students. Okay, moreover, you are going to receive the expert guidelines also from the topmost educators of the Unacademy along with the subject experts, okay, in the Iconic subscription. Moreover, when comes into the engineering services, this particular coaching also they are going to give at the stage 1, okay, and the stage 2 level, okay, guidance also you are going to get, my dear friends, over here. Very important things just I would like to bring it to your notice over here, my dear friends. Okay, very important parameters just I would like to bring it to your notice over here. Okay, and Iconic subscription is the one of the dedicated subscription. If you are going to take this particular subscription, definitely you are going to get the rank, okay, government job, whether it is a central government or state government job, my dear students. Okay, similarly, when comes into the, my dear students, Plus subscription, the second subscription, which is also very important subscription, my dear students, when you are going to take this particular subscription also, you are going to access the live classes from the topmost educators of the Unacademy in whatever the language you are expecting. If you want class in English, pure English or English plus Telugu or English plus Hindi, various faculties are there where you are going to access the different subjects in, my dear students, in different, okay, languages. Moreover, you can practice unlimited test series with respect to the structured timetable. Okay, here also a structured timetable is present, my dear students, and you can practice the unlimited test series also over here. Okay, similarly, my dear students, when it comes into the subscriptions of the Unacademy, the very important things just I would like to bring it to your notice over here is, okay, for GATE and engineering services, for Plus subscription for 12 months 27,225 and you can use my code and get the discount. Okay, same for GATE and engineering services for the same Plus subscription for 18 months 34,650 and you can use my code and get the discount. Okay, similarly for the same Plus subscription for 24 months 39,600 and you can use my code and get the discount over here. Okay, similarly for GATE and engineering services for the Iconic subscription, my dear students, very important. See, for GATE and engineering services for 12 months the fee structure is 45,225 and you can use my code and get the discount over here. Similarly for the same GATE and engineering services for the same Iconic subscription for 24 months 66,600 and you can use my code and get the discount over here, my dear students. Okay, very important points just I would like to bring it to your notice over here. Similarly, my dear students, the biggest ever surprise is that the Unacademy GATE Telugu channel has been transformed into the Unacademy GATE English channel. Now the medium of communication is English. Now you can avail the opportunities of this channel for the GATE aspirants of 2022 in the departments, okay, of electronics and communications and electrical and electronics departments, my dear friends, for various subjects, and new batches has been announced in this particular month. Okay, similarly, my dear friends, from 18th January in the new year of 2021, my dear friends, a English batch has been started for the Department of Electrical, which is called the Spark batch for GATE 2022 aspirants. Okay, similarly, a batch has been started for GATE 2022 batch E for ECE, which is started from the 18th of the January, which is a English batch, my dear students. Okay, moreover, see here, there are certain other batches also already started, my dear students, and these particular batches, one is for the GATE 2023 electrical batch, my dear students, starting from the 18th of the January over here. Okay, similarly, the Verve batch for GATE 2023 ECE, my dear students, these stipulated batch already started in the month of in the same month, my dear students, in the same month of the January over here. same month of the January, my dear students, over here. Similarly, my dear students, the very important things just I would like to bring it to your notice itself is the Ascent batch for GATE 2023 ECE batch, my dear students, starting from the 1st of the February. My dear students, very important points just I would like to bring it to your notice. Okay. Similarly, Evolve for the GATE 2022 ECE, my dear electronics and communication batch already started and it is running successfully over here. Okay. Similarly, ECE, similar electrical batches, Ascend for GATE 2023, my dear students, for electrical engineering batch has started, my dear students, which is from the 1st of the February. Similarly, my dear students, Evolve for the GATE, okay, Evolve for the GATE 2022 also started, my dear students, and it is also running successfully, okay, in the month of the February. Means some batches already started in the month of January and some batches has been started in the month of the February. My dear students, for the GATE aspirants of 2022, please grab it and please join. You can use my code and get the discount, my dear students. Okay, my code is BNR10. Okay, you can utilize my code and get the discount over here, my dear students. Okay. Similarly, January month schedule, my dear students, I told you very important. It is finished as far as Unacademy GATE English channel is concerned, but in the February month, instead of communication signals is going on, engineering mathematics has been closed, analog electronics has been closed. In this place, EDC is going on, my dear students. Okay, and the foundation course for mass is going, aptitude has been finished, my dear students, and measurements it is going on, and machines has been closed. Okay, all these things, my dear students, the modifications in the existing batches over here. Okay. Similarly, my dear students, in this particular session, okay, in this particular session, the very important thing is that the semiconductor integrated circuit design. Okay, semiconductor integrated circuit design, my dear students, I have finished about the programmable logic array and programmable array logic in the programmable logic devices. Okay, now I am going for the next device, and that one is called FPGAs, that is field programmable gate arrays, my dear students. Okay, already I had finished, my dear students, in the previous class regarding all these particular concepts in a detailed manner. Okay, now in this particular session, my dear students, I am going for the very important topic, and that particular one is very important, my dear students, and that particular one is see here, all these things I have finished in the previous class only. Now in this particular session, I am going for the very important topic, my dear students. Okay, and that particular topic is pretty important over here. Okay, now before going for that particular topic, my dear students, now, my dear friends, in this particular session, I am going for the concept of FPGA. FPGA stands for Field Programmable Gate Array, and CPLD. CPLD, I told you, is very important. That is nothing but complex programmable logic device. Okay, complex programmable logic device, my dear friends. Okay, and FPGA and CPLD is an advanced programmable logic devices. Okay, these are the logic devices where we are going to use, my dear friends, in an advanced manner. Okay, I told you what I told you in PLA and PAL, then programmable logic array and programmable array logic, my dear friends. In programmable logic array, I have used the programmable AND gates and programmable OR gates. Okay, but here in programmable array logic, I have used the programmable AND gate and fixed OR gate. Okay, and fixed OR gate I have used, my dear friends. Okay, now here also the same thing, my dear friends. Okay, so these are all the two important devices, advanced devices in the programmable logic devices. Okay, these are all the advanced programmable logic devices, my dear friends, where it supports, okay, thousands of the gates, my dear friends. Okay, whereas the PLDs, okay, so here what happens, the PLDs, like, my dear friends, PLA, that is a programmable logic array, and programmable array logic. My dear students, these are supporting only hundreds of gates. These are supporting only hundreds of the gates, my dear students. Okay, but these are supporting, my dear students, very important is that that is the thousands of the gates, my dear students. Okay, but it supports the hundreds of the gates, my dear students. Okay, very important point. Just I would like to the basic difference between these things and these, my dear students. Okay, very important point. Just I would like to bring it to your notice over here in this particular session, my dear students. Okay, similarly, see here, what is FPGA? What is field programmable gate array? First, let us start here itself, my dear students. The very important is the theory. Okay, see here, because before the advent of the programmable logic, my dear students, the custom logic circuits were built, okay, at the board level using standard components, okay, or at the gate level design in expensive application specific, that is integrated circuits. Okay, suppose, my dear students, if I am going to take it, okay, if I am going to take it, the very important is that if I am going to take it, my dear students, very important topic here. This is application specific circuit. Okay, if I am going to take it any particular application, ASIC means application specific integrated circuit. See, generally before the entrance of the, that is entry of this particular FPGA, before that we are going to use the different ICs, okay, different application specific integrated circuits. Okay, before the advent of, my dear students, okay, advent of these particular things, we are building the, my dear students, various types of the logic circuits. Means see here, various logic circuits were built on the board level. This is a board, this is a complete board, my dear students. On this board we are building of the various, my dear students, okay, various what I am going to tell you, standard components we have used. Okay, the standard components like capacitors, resistors, and all those particular components, my dear students, which we have used, my dear students. Okay, the standard components which we have used, my dear students, on this particular chip, my dear students. Okay, very important. Okay, so then what happens, the not only the size of the chip is increasing, moreover, my dear students, the cost of the chip is also increasing, my dear students. Okay, that is the meaning of this one. Before the advent of the programmer, before the FPGAs, we have built the custom logic circuits on this particular board using the standard components, or the gates on this particular board becomes the expensive. That's the reason we are going for this FPGA. Why we are going for FPGA? Let me tell you. Okay, similarly, FPGA, what is FPGA, my dear students? Very important, this particular point. FPGA, okay, listen carefully. FPGA is an IC, okay, that contains many, that is 64 to 10,000 identical logic cells that can be viewed as a standard components. Okay, we are going to use the various types of logic cells. Later I am going to tell you what are the how the architecture of FPGA is there, what is the function of the logic cell, I am going to tell you. Okay, and each logic cell, my dear students, can independently take, okay, yeah, one of the limited set of personalities. Okay, means if I am going to take any particular, okay, any particular IC, my dear students, here also if I am going to take, see here, if I am going to take it, the very important is that FPGA consists of what, 64 to, that is 10,000 identical logic cells. Okay, now I am going to implement on this particular one the identical logic cells. Okay, now I am implementing, my dear students, on this particular one is the identical logic cells. Identical logic cells, and these logic cells are so many here, so many logic cells that is present on where, on FPGA. How many, my dear students? That is, that it starts with the 64 to, my dear friends, and nearly 10,000. Okay, 10,000 logical cells, my dear friends, that will be there. And these particular logic cells we are going to view as a standard components. We can view as a, my dear friends, as a standard components. Okay, standard components, my dear friends. Okay, very important points. Just I would like to bring it to your notice. Okay, so here now these individual cells are interconnected by the matrix of wires, okay, and these cells are also called as CLBs, means configurable logic blocks. Later I'm going to depict you what is the architecture of FPGA, okay. Later I'm going to depict you, my dear friends, what is the architecture of the FPGA. So these individual cells are interconnected by the matrix of wires and programmable switches, okay, and programmable switches, my dear friends, okay. It consists of the both the wires and the programmable switches, okay. These I'm going to show you, my dear friends, in the coming, okay, topics. First, let me explain. And user design is, my dear friends, implemented by specifying the simply logic, that is a simple logic function for each cell, okay, and user's design is implemented, my dear students, okay. We can implement the design by specifying the simple logic function for each cell and selectively closing the switches in the interconnect matrix, means these configurable logic blocks that I am connecting with respect to the switches, and because and that forms like a here, then we are going to use each and every cell, okay, means what ultimately I am going to tell you. Later I am going to show you what is this FPGA, but FPGA consists of what? Configurable logic blocks, and very important is that, my dear friends, the very important parameter, just I would like to bring it to you here. Notice is that, my dear friends, very important is that, okay, that is input and output blocks, okay, input and output blocks, my dear friends, and the very important is that the switches configurable logic blocks, input and output blocks, and my dear friends, I am going to show you later, okay, I am going to show you later, my dear friends, how the FPGA is there. So here how we are using these individual cells, means a user can design, can implement it by, first we are implementing the, that is each cell on the FPGA by selecting the closing the switches in the interconnect matrix. This is also I am going to explain in a detailed manner in the coming, okay. Similarly, an array of the logic cells and the interconnect form, okay, basic building blocks of the logic circuits, okay. If I am going to use, my dear friends, very important over here, very important, my dear friends, over here. Welcome Usha, welcome Usha. So I am going to use, my dear friends, okay. I am going to implement, my dear friends, these particular logic circuits, and my dear friends, means array of these particular logic cells, okay. Whatever the logic cells I have taken and the interconnect form the basic building blocks for the logic circuits, okay, and complex designs also created by combining these blocks for the desired circuit, means, my dear students, here two steps are there. See here, if I am going to take it any FPGA consists of what? The logic cells, and my dear students, the interconnection among the logic cells, my dear students, through switches, okay, and followed by input output blocks, okay. Complex designs also here, means one, see here, I am going to bring back one logic circuit, okay, the group of these particular logic circuits, then it is a complex designs also you are going to get, my dear students, okay. So complex designs also created by combining these particular basic blocks to form the desired circuit, to form what, my dear friends, desired circuit over here, okay. These are all the important parameters, just I would like to bring it to your notice over here, okay. Now what does the field programmable mean, okay? What does, my dear friends, field programmable mean, okay? Field programmable, my dear friends, the logic cell architecture varies between different device families, okay. And see, we are going to use the different types of FPGAs, okay. Later I am going to depict you, but here what happens, the logic cell architecture, whatever the logic cell architecture, that is varying from one FPGA to another FPGA. That's what he is going to explain, my dear friends, over here, the same point, okay. That's what he is going to explain, my dear friends, here, the same point over here, okay. Similarly, okay, over here, my dear friends, okay, very important points over here. So here the logic cell, my dear friends, combine, okay, Here what I'm going to tell you, each logic cell has some binary inputs, typically 3. It will be minimum from 3 and maximum is 10, my dear students. 1 or 2 inputs according to the boolean function specified by the user program. Okay, any logic cell, my dear friends, we are going to use with respect to the minimum is 3, that is A, B, C plus C, D, E, like that. Different, it forms like a, and these particular programs also, okay, that is implemented by the user only. These particular programs also that is implemented by the user only, means we are implementing the logic. Okay, in each logic cell, my dear students, you can implement the 3 to 10 input. 10, that is or we are going to use a simple logic, means 1 or 2 also. Okay, according to the boolean function that is defined by the user program based upon the what kind of, okay, what kind of the function we are implementing. Okay, now my dear students, in most families the user has the option of registering the that is combinatorial output of the cell, so that the clock logic can be easily implemented. Okay, this is already we have studied, my dear students. Okay, how the logics are implemented by the clock pulses in the, that is what CMOS, that is serial in parallel out and parallel in serial out. There we are going to give the bits registering or storing of the bits based upon the clock cell. That he is going to explain here. Okay, in other families like me, the other families like what CMOS, that is serial in parallel out and parallel in serial out. In those particular families, what is happening, that is going to depict you, my dear students, over here. Very important point over here, my dear friends. Okay, similarly here, my dear friends, very important is that whatever the cell, that is logic may be physically implemented as a LUT. Very important, listen and see what are the cells, logic cells, how we are going to implement in FPGA. The cells logic cell we are going to use as a LUT. LUT means lookup table or set of multiplexers or gates. Okay, or as a set of multiplexers or a gates, my dear students. Okay, and LUTs, lookup, that is that is table devices, tends to bit more flexible and provide more inputs per cell than the multiplexer cells at the expense of the propagation delay. Why we are preferring, that is my dear friends, the lookup tables in FPGAs. We can use the multiplexers or we can use the gates instead of the lookup tables. Why only we are going to prefer the LUTs, that is lookup tables, my dear friends, inside the FPGA, means they are going to be flexible. This particular point gives the special reason. The reason behind itself is that these tends to become more flexible and provide the more inputs per cell than the multiplexer cells at the expense of propagation delay. Means the delay of propagation is also going to be what happens, my dear students. Very pretty important things, just I would like to bring it to your notice, is that the delay should be minimum. Okay, if you are implementing any particular, that these FPGA I am going to explain, my dear students, with respect to the diagram. With respect to the diagram, then you understand what I am going to teach you. They are only the theory which I am going to explain. Okay, so finally LUTs are more flexible and here we can provide the more inputs per each logic cell than the multiplexers, and the propagation delay is also faster, my dear students. Okay, and now my dear students, how the FPGAs are that is created, my dear students. Okay, see, first, my dear students, very important is that many switch connections, okay, individually defining the many switch connections and the logic cell functions would be daunting task. Okay, so here what happens, logic cells and the giving the switch connections in FPGA, okay, is a big task. Okay, because FPGA is a combination of what, my dear students, FPGA consists of configurable logic blocks followed by what, okay, followed by interconnect switches and followed by input and output blocks. But here what is happening, my dear friends, we are using those particular parameters is a daunting task. Okay, and this task is handled by a special software. Okay, and here how this special software means, we are going to take the user schematic where you are writing the programming. Schematic is nothing but the hardware description language. Okay, then hardware description language means we are going to use VHDL, Verilog, that is VHDL, or Verilog HDL. We can use any of these particular programming languages, my dear friends, and we can write down your schematic program. Okay, and places and routes them and translates the design. Okay, and you are going to get the design, my dear students. Okay, so then most of the software packages hooks to allow the users to influence the implementation, placement, routing. Already I told you. Okay, to obtain the better performance and utilization of the device. Okay, so here what are the software you have written, then you are implementing on the physical shape in the physical design cycle. Already I told you in the previous classes. Okay, so ultimately whatever the circuit you are going to get, that I am going to implement, my dear students, on the chip, my dear students. Okay, by what happens, placement, routing, and finally you are getting, my dear students, various that is FPGAs. Okay, so here very important is that when you are writing the any particular, okay, when you are writing the any particular coding, more complex functions like adders, okay, and we are going to use these particular libraries inside inside the hardware description language. Okay, in the internal hardware description language, you can use the more number of libraries, my dear students, and by providing the common circuits that are already optimized for speed and area. Okay, for speed and area, my dear friends, we can optimize, my dear friends, the speed and area over here. Okay, similarly, where we are going to use the FPGAs, my dear students, later I am going to explain the structure. Okay, where we are going to use, my dear students, FPGAs, that is also very important, my dear students. Okay, very important parameters. Let me depict you over here. Okay, where I am going to use the FPGAs, means FPGAs, my dear students, I am going to use in digital signal processing and software defined radio. Next, aerospace. Next, defense systems also we are going to use, my dear students. Next, application specific integrated circuit, medical imaging, computer vision, speech recognition, cryptography, bioinformatics, and others. Okay, so here aerospace applications also we are going to use, my dear friends. Okay, software defined radios we are going to use, means whatever the digital signal processing kits, okay, whatever the radios we are going to use, software defined radio is our mobile cells. Okay, internally we are going to use the ICs only. Okay, where we are going to use every part, my dear students, like cryptography, bioinformatics, and wherever you are going for the wherever, my dear students, you are going to implement, my dear students, in a detailed manner over here. Okay, in a detailed manner, my dear students. Okay, very important points. Just I would like to bring it to your notice over here. Okay, similarly, okay, the very important things, my dear students, is pretty important, is that this is the physical shape of a Xilinx Spartan 3E starter kit. Okay, I have done my PhD thesis. I have done, my dear students, based upon the writing of the code. Then finally I am implemented in this Xilinx Spartan 3E starter kit. Okay, this part is called FPGA. This part is called field programmable gate array, my dear students. Okay, this is a complete, okay, 3E starter kit, where the heart of this particular kit is this FPGA. This FPGA, my dear students. Okay, this one is called field programmable gate array, my dear students. Okay, this particular one itself is very important, is the field programmable gate array, my dear students. Okay, very important point. Just I am going to depict you over here. Okay, depict you, my dear students, over here. Okay, the important points, just I would like to bring it to your notice over here. Okay, so these are the important things. Just I would make it over here, my dear students, the parameters that are concerned, okay, with respect to those things, my dear students. Okay, wait a minute over here. Very important, my dear friends, over here, how the particular stipulated parameters comes into picture over here. Okay, so these are all the important things, just I would like to bring it to your notice over here, my dear students. Okay, so and these okay, these are the kits which we have defined over here, my dear students. Okay, this is a simple Spartan kit. Okay, this is a simple Spartan kit where this one FPGA plays a vital role. Okay, now here we have used the tool, and the tool is called Xilinx for implementation of your whatever the program you have written, my dear students. Okay, very important, my dear students. Okay, it consists of the various types of here. Okay, various types of LEDs are there, switches are there, buttons are there, various other parameters also there, my dear students. Very important, which I would like to bring it to your notice over here. Similarly, my FPGA principles. What are the principles, my dear students, that we are going to use in FPGA? Okay, very a field programmable gate array is an IC, is an integrated circuit that can be configured by the user, to emulate any digital circuit. Okay, what is the definition? Okay, that can be configured to emulate the digital as long as there are enough resources. Okay, as long as the enough resources. What are the things that are present in FPGA? A FPGA can be seen is very important, my dear students. This point, it consists of configurable logic blocks and through programmable interconnect switch boxes. My dear students. Okay, FPGA. Okay, and field programmable gate array is an IC. Okay, that is a point I told you here. Okay, here it is an IC. Here it is an IC, I told you. Okay, that can be configured by the user to emulate any digital circuit as long as the enough resources. Okay, and FPGA can be consists of the configurable logic blocks and programmable interconnect. Okay, and the programmable interconnect, my dear students. Okay, similarly, this is the structure of, my dear students, very important, is the FPGA. Listen carefully. Finally your day has come. My dear students. How the FPGA is there, my dear students. Listen carefully over here. Okay, see here, it consists of what are the parameters, and these are called configurable logic blocks. See here, CLB means the configurable logic blocks, and here SB, my dear students, very important is that SB means interconnection network. Okay, or simply we are going to call it as interconnection switches. These are called, here already I have written, configurable logic blocks. These are the interconnection switches. These are called what? Configurable logic box, and these are called what, my dear students? Interconnection switches already. And these are all the input output signals. Okay, input output signals or input output blocks, my dear students. How it will be there? Listen here, the input output blocks, that is followed by the both sides. Okay, the input output blocks, that will be like this. This is like this, my dear friends. See here, these are all the FPGA circuit. So the red one indicates what? The configurable logic blocks. Okay, similarly the red one indicates the configurable logic blocks, my dear friends, and these are the interconnection outconnection switches, and these are the input output blocks. These are the input output blocks, my dear friends. So these are all the input output blocks, my dear students, which plays a vital role. Now here what I told you, what is FPGA? FPGA is a programmable logic device. Okay, so what is, my dear students? It is a programmable logic device which supports implementation of a relative large logic circuits. Means we are implementing the more on this device. Okay, so here what happens, which supports the implementation of the relatively large, okay, large logic circuits. My dear students, what is FPGA? First point is that FPGA is a PLD. Second thing is very important, my dear friends. See, FPGA supports relatively, that is what's implementation of relatively logic circuits, supports large number of logic circuits. One by one point, media students, please remember over here. Okay, similarly, FPS offer a number of, that is configurable logic blocks. See here, this is a configurable logic blocks, my dear students, that are present on FPGA. Very important for your academics, my dear students. Okay, which contains the programmable combinational logic. Okay, see, configurable logic blocks, what does it contains? Okay, these configurable logic blocks contains what are the things, my dear students, with programmable combinational logics and registers, combination of, my dear students, both. Okay, that is a combinational logics we can implement, and the registers for sequential circuits. Okay, sequential circuit, my dear students. Okay, so ultimately it consists of what, my dear students? Very important is that programmable combinational, programmable my dear students, programmable combination of logic and registers for sequential circuits. Logic, my dear students, in the sequential circuits it consists of, and we are going to implement the programming inside this CLBs only. Okay, my dear students, there is a set of input output blocks which can be configured as a fixed. Okay, and see, these input output blocks on the either sides, bidirectional. These are all, these input output blocks are what, how it will be, these are all bidirectional. This indicates bidirectional. This indicates, my dear students, these are bidirectional over here. Very important points, my dear students, you need to remember over here. Okay, these are bidirectional switches where I am going to depict you over here. Okay, similarly, okay, so here what I am going to tell you, the what are the outputs, input and outputs you are going to use. What are the inputs and outputs, my dear students, we are going to use, that is also very important over here. Okay, and these input and outputs are simply fixed. Okay, these are fixed input and fixed output. Fixed input and fixed output, might be different. Okay, and the outputs, what are the outputs, my dear friends? See, what are the data we are going to give, and the output, what are the outputs consist of, have the tri-state nature of registers. Okay, for latching the incoming or outgoing data. Okay, so we are going to use all these things, my dear students. Very important points, just you need to remember. Okay, you need to remember, my dear students, over here. Okay, so ultimately what I am going to tell you over here is, my dear friends, what does the FPGAs consist? Okay, the FPGA I told you is very important over here. Okay, now the points you need to remember from FPGA. What are the points you need to remember at per the FPGA's concern means? See here, there is a very important is that the configurable logic blocks. Okay, so FPGAs consists of the CLBs, configurable logic blocks, my dear friends, which contain programmable combinational logic, my dear students, and registers for sequential circuit, Registers, my dear students, for the sequential circuits. Okay, similarly it consists of the input and output blocks which are fixed. These are fixed, and the output blocks, the connectivity of the output blocks with the input blocks. Okay, and the outputs have tri-state nature. Outputs have the tri-state nature, and registers can be used for latching incoming and outgoing data. And registers can be used for latching incoming or outgoing data. My dear students, okay, very important points you need to remember, my dear students, over here. Okay, these are the stipulated parameters, just I would like to bring it to your notice over here. And here FPGAs use always a grid of logic gates, okay, similar to the gate array. Okay, and programming done by the customer, not by the manufacturer. Okay, always FPGAs. What are the FPGAs, my dear students? It is also, what are the FPGA that is present here? This FPGA uses always a grid of logic gates. Okay, grid of logic gates always we are implementing in, this is CLBs. We are implementing, my dear students, in this configurable logic plane, that is logic blocks. Okay, and it is similar to the ordinary gate array. Okay, but programming is, what are the programming that will be done by the customer only, not by the manufacturer, because the programming varies from, okay, the programming in FPGA varies from, okay, that is user to user. The user can install the program whatever he wants. Okay, so here what happens? FPGA use a grid of logic gates. A grid of logic gates, my dear students. Okay, but the programming is done by the customer. Okay, my dear students. Okay, and here what happens in FPGA, all the CLBs, my dear students, what are the CLBs I have used here? See, what are the configurable logic blocks I have used, my dear students, and the input output blocks. These blocks and these particular blocks, my dear students, can be interconnected to implement virtual any logic circuit. So here what happens, there will be interconnection between these and bidirectional. So because of the bidirectionality between the input and output blocks and the configurable logic blocks, then what happens, my dear students, the programming interconnection is virtually any logic circuit you are going to implement, my dear students. Okay, so here, but here what are the programming you are writing on FPGA? What are the programming? FPGA are generally programmed. Okay, you are writing the programming, my dear students. Okay, and here what are the programming you are writing, my dear students? Okay, that is also very important. Okay, and that programming after being soldered down to the circuit board. Okay, so FPGAs are programmed. What are the programming you're writing? I'm writing this point also very important. FPGAs are generally programmed. Generally programmed, my dear students. Okay, after being soldered circuit, that is circuit is soldered to the circuit, my dear, board of the circuit. Okay, so we are going to, after soldering done on the circuit only, my dear students, we are going to implement like CPLDs, same. Okay, so here whatever the, see here, generally programmed, my dear students, after complete soldering on the circuit board, after complete soldering circuit board. My dear students, in a large FPGAs, the configuration, if I am going to take the big size FPGAs, my dear friends, the configuration is volatile. The configuration, whatever the configuration I have taken is a volatile and must be reloaded into the device, okay, when power is applied, okay. So here, whatever the configuration, this is always, my dear students, it is the configuration we have done, that is volatile, means it will be only present, okay, my dear students, when power is that is applied, when power is removed, then automatically the configurable logic blocks loses its data. The configurable logic blocks loses its data, my dear students. So as long as in a larger FPGA, the configuration is volatile and must be reloaded into the device when power is applied. Whenever power is there, the data is there. Whenever the power is not there, the data will not be there, my dear students. Okay, very important over here. Okay, as I told you, very important is that see, I told you one more important point here. Okay, what is that? I am going to implement. Listen here. I am going to implement the configurable logic blocks. Okay, what are the configurable logic blocks? So far I have taken the interconnection. Okay, the interconnection among these. Okay, see here, these three lines are indicating the interconnection among the switches and the configurable logic blocks, and this particular connection is called programmable interconnect. Programmable interconnect. These are called programmable interconnect, my dear students. Okay, very important points I would like to bring it to your notice over here. Okay, and these are very important, my dear students. Okay, so that's the reason I am going to explain over here the same points over here. Okay, so ultimately, if I am going to take it any particular, okay, what is the general architecture? If I am representing the final architecture of what is FPGA, see here, this is the complete architecture of FPGA. I am going to show the same architecture, but by interconnection matrix also I am representing in this particular diagram, my dear students. Very important over here. These days we are going to represent, we are writing the big programming in this, writing your programming and implementing physical shape on these particular FPGAs only. Okay, listen here. These are all the CLB's configurable logic blocks. CLB stands for configurable logic blocks. See here, this is input output block. Similarly, this is also same. Input and output block. Here it is also same, input and output block, and this is interconnection matrix. My dear students, okay, like this, these are all the FPGA, means the basic building of any FPGA, the structure of FPGA, very important, my dear students. It consists of organized in 2D array of cells. See, I have explained here also an array. And what kind of array? The complete basic, the building blocks of FPGA I have arranged, my dear students, in a 2D array, two-dimensional array of cells. Okay, it is 2D array, two-dimensional array of cells, my dear students. Okay, array of cells over here, very important over here. Okay, and these particular things are very important, my dear students, when it comes into the picture. When it comes into the picture, my dear students, very important over here. Okay, so these particular stipulated points you need to remember, my dear students. Okay, so here these consists of the configurable logic blocks, 3 important steps. One is this one, this part. Second one is input output switches, my dear students. Okay, third one is the interconnection matrix. Okay, without this one we are not using any particular FPGA, my dear students. Okay, very important. Finally, what kind of things you need to remember, my dear students? I have explained the complete concept of the FPGA in a detailed manner in the today's session. Okay, see what is FPGA and what is the difference between FPGA and CPLD, and what are the factors that make you to prefer the FPGA, what is field programmable gate array, how FPGA programs are created, what are the applications, and my dear students, the very important things just I would like to bring it to your notice in the today's session over here. Okay, and similarly FPGA principles, what kind of principles we are going to adapt, my dear students, if we are going to use the FPGA. Okay, similarly, so what are the things, how the FPGA structure is there, my dear students, I have depicted over here. Okay, very important points, just I would like to bring it to your notice over here. Okay, see in the next class, my dear students, I am going to explain here one more important thing. If I am going to take it here, the FPGA, listen here, in each logic block in FPGA has a smaller number of inputs and outputs. Okay, every here, listen what are the words I am getting from the mouth, very important. Okay, so what are the words that I am getting from the mouth, very important here. Each logic block, what are the logic blocks you are going to take it, my dear students? It have a smaller number of inputs and outputs. Okay, every configurable logic block, it consists of a smaller number of inputs and outputs. A variety of FPGAs, okay, are on market. Okay, so here what happens, different types of FPGAs are there. I told you FPGAs are not a standard one. So and in the FPGA, the user can write down the programming whatever he wants. Okay, a variety of FPGA products are available in the market, featuring the different types of logic blocks. Okay, so different types of these particular logic blocks are present. So if the size of these logic blocks are big, then FPGA sizes also vary. Okay, the most commonly used logic block inside this, I told you, is LUT, that is lookup table. This is very important. Okay, with the help of these lookup tables only, my dear students, we are storing the programming and we are writing. That's what I told you here, very important. Listen here, see here what is that is present in FPGA. Listen here, I already told you, my dear students, that why we are going for the lookup table. See the lookup tables here, this point. Okay, the lookup tables tends to be more flexible and provide more inputs per cell, okay, than the multiplexers at the expense of the propagation delay. Means we are going to provide the more inputs, okay, and the propagation delay is also minimum, my dear students, over here. Okay, similarly, these are all the important things that make you to prefer why we are going for the FPGAs. Okay, similarly, see here what I told you, the most commonly used logic block is the lookup table, which contains the storage cells that can be implement the logic functions. Okay, in this, the lookup table, in this table only you are implementing the logics. That point you need to remember. And each cell is capable of holding a single bit logic. Okay, each, my dear students, cell is capable of holding only a single bit logic, either 0 or 1. Very important, my dear students. Okay, and the stored value is the product of, okay, is produced at the output of the storage cell. Okay, whatever the value that is stored, okay, very important, means what I'm going to tell you. See here in CLBs, I'm going to use the lookup tables, okay, and which contains the storage cells that can be used to implement the small logic function. Okay, and each cell is capable of holding a small logic, a single value of logic, either 0 or 1. Okay, and the stored value is produced at the output of the storage cell. And the lookup tables are of various sizes that can be created. That's the reason the lookup tables are varying from varying from FPGA to FPGA. Okay, so various sizes of the lookup tables are varying, then the various sizes of FPGAs are also there. Okay, where here what happens, the lookup tables of various sizes may be created where the size is defined by the number of inputs. Okay, the sizes that we can estimate by taking the number of inputs, my dear students. Okay, similarly in the next class I am going to explain some more important concepts. What is lookup table, how we are going for the lookup table, how we are going to implement, my dear students, all those things I am going to explain in a detailed manner. As I told you, the number of followers in the Facebook as well as Unacademy is concerned, day by day increasing. Unacademy, okay, Twitter and everywhere, okay, the platform, my dear friends, the number of the followers are going to be increasing, my dear friends. Okay, everywhere the number of followers are going to be increasing as far as Unacademy is concerned, in Twitter, Facebook, and subscribers in the Telegram. Okay, similarly Unacademy GATE English channel, you are going to access the subjects in different languages, okay, in different languages, my dear friends. And similarly India's #1 study channels also there, where you are going to access the different subjects, okay, in different competitive level examinations, my dear students. Okay, finally, thank you very much, my dear students, for attending the today's session. Thank you.